Welcome to our countdown of the top 5 unbelievable survival stories. These are stories of courage, determination, and the incredible strength of the human spirit. These tales of human endurance and resilience will leave you speechless. Let's dive in. Picture this: you're miles into a canyon, completely alone. The vastness of the landscape around you is both awe-inspiring and intimidating. The walls of the canyon rise high above, casting long shadows that dance with the movement of the sun. The silence is profound, broken only by the occasional rustle of wind or the distant call of a bird. It's a place of raw, untouched beauty, but also one of inherent danger. The sun beats down on the rock, its relentless heat sapping your energy. The rocks, once cool and inviting in the early morning, now radiate an almost unbearable warmth. You can feel the sweat trickling down your back, the dryness in your throat intensifying with each passing minute. The sun, a source of life, now feels like an adversary, challenging your endurance. Suddenly, a boulder shifts, pinning your arm, trapping you. The pain is immediate and excruciating, a sharp contrast to the serene beauty around you. You try to pull free, but the rock is immovable, a silent, unyielding captor. Panic sets in as you realize the gravity of your situation. You're stuck, miles from help, with no one aware of your whereabouts. That's what happened to Aaron Ralston. An experienced outdoorsman, Aaron had ventured into Blue John Canyon seeking adventure and solitude. Little did he know this trip would test his limits in ways he could never have imagined. His story is one of incredible resilience and the sheer will to survive against all odds. For 127 hours, Aaron fought to survive. Dehydration, hunger, the elements. Each hour that passed was a battle against the harsh realities of nature. His water supply dwindled, and the food he had brought was barely enough to sustain him. The temperature fluctuations between the scorching daytime heat and the freezing nighttime cold added to his misery. But the worst part? The crushing weight, the immobility, the knowledge that no one knew where he was. The isolation was suffocating, the silence around him a constant reminder of his dire predicament. Every attempt to free himself only resulted in more pain and frustration. The boulder, a seemingly insignificant piece of the canyon, had become his prison. Imagine the despair, the dwindling hope. Each passing hour felt like an eternity, the weight of his situation pressing down on him as heavily as the boulder itself. The thought of never seeing his loved ones again, of his life ending in this remote, unforgiving place, was almost too much to bear. Yet, amidst the despair, a flicker of hope remained. But Aaron, he didn't give in. He refused to let the canyon claim him. With every ounce of strength and determination, he fought to stay alive. He rationed his water, conserved his energy, and used his knowledge of survival techniques to endure the seemingly endless hours. His mind, though tormented by fear and pain, remained focused on one goal: survival. He looked at his options, assessed the situation. He knew that waiting for rescue was not an option. The chances of someone stumbling upon him in this remote part of the canyon were slim to none. He had to take matters into his own hands. He considered every possible way to free himself, no matter how extreme or painful. There was only one way out. The realization was both terrifying and liberating. He knew what he had to do, but the thought of it was almost too much to bear. Yet, in that moment of clarity, he found a sense of resolve. He would do whatever it took to survive, no matter the cost. With a dull knife, he performed an amputation on himself. The pain was unimaginable, but he pushed through, driven by the primal instinct to live. Each cut, each moment of agony brought him closer to freedom. The knife, a simple tool, became his lifeline, a symbol of his unyielding will to survive. He cut through bone and muscle, a decision made more terrifying by the echo of every scream in that vast canyon. The sound of his own pain reverberated off the canyon walls, a haunting reminder of his isolation. Yet with each agonizing moment, he inched closer to freedom. The makeshift bandage he applied was a testament to his resourcefulness and determination. But he did it. He freed himself. The moment his arm was free, a surge of relief and adrenaline coursed through him. He had done the unthinkable, defied the odds, and reclaimed his life. But the journey was far from over. He still had to navigate the treacherous terrain and find his way back to civilization. Then he had to survive the climb out, the trek back to civilization. Each step was a struggle, his body weakened by the ordeal but his spirit unbroken. The path was rugged and unforgiving, but he pressed on, driven by the hope of seeing his loved ones again. Every moment was a test of his endurance and willpower. This wasn't a movie, this was real. Aaron's story is a powerful reminder of the strength of the human spirit, the will to survive against all odds. It's a tale of courage, determination, and the unbreakable bond between a person and their will to live. His experience has inspired countless others to find their own strength in the face of adversity. Could you make that choice? Could you summon the strength to do what Aaron did? It's a question that challenges us to reflect on our own resilience and determination. In the face of unimaginable odds, would we have the courage to fight for our lives, to endure the pain and fear, and to emerge victorious? Could you summon that strength? Aaron's story is a testament to the incredible power of the human spirit, a reminder that even in our darkest moments, we have the capacity to overcome, to survive, and to thrive. His journey through the canyon is not just a tale of survival, but a celebration of the indomitable will to live. 10,000 feet. Imagine plummeting that distance, strapped into a plane seat, surrounded by chaos and terror. The plane shudders violently, the overhead compartments burst open and oxygen masks drop down. Screams fill the cabin as passengers clutch their armrests, eyes wide with fear. That was Julianne Koepke's reality. A 17-year-old girl on Christmas Eve, 1971, traveling with her mother on LANSA Flight 508 from Lima to Pucallpa, Peru. A plane crash ripped apart in mid-air, struck by lightning during a severe thunderstorm. The aircraft disintegrated and Julianne, still strapped to her seat, was ejected into the open sky. And she's falling, free-falling into the heart of the Amazon. The wind roars in her ears, the ground rushes up to meet her. Miraculously, the dense foliage of the jungle cushions her fall. The impact, the disorientation, the injuries. She should have died, but she didn't. She wakes up, bruised and battered, with a broken collarbone, a deep gash on her leg, and one eye swollen shut. Alone, a teenager surrounded by the dense, unforgiving jungle, she had to dig deep. The Amazon is a place teeming with life, but also with danger. Venomous snakes, jaguars, and relentless insects are just a few of the threats. She had to dig deep. Her mind races with thoughts of survival, and she remembers the lessons her father taught her. Her father, a biologist, had taught her survival skills. He had shown her how to find clean water, which plants were safe to eat, and how to avoid dangerous animals. And she used them all. She finds a small stream and follows it, knowing that water is life. She drinks cautiously, aware of the risk of parasites. For 11 days she battled hunger, exhaustion, and the constant threat of predators. She forages for food, eating whatever she can find, fruits, berries, and even small insects. Each night, she finds a safe place to rest, often climbing trees to avoid ground-dwelling predators. She followed a stream, knowing it might lead to civilization. The stream becomes her guide, her lifeline. She wades through the water, hoping it will lead her to people, to safety. And finally, against all odds, she was found. On the 11th day, she stumbles upon a small hut used by local lumbermen. They take her in, give her food and water, and eventually, she is rescued by a search party. Julianne's story is a testament to the power of knowledge, the will to live. Her incredible journey from the sky to the jungle and back to civilization is a story of resilience and survival. Could you have endured that journey? Could you have survived the fall, the jungle, the isolation? Julianne Koepke did, and her story continues to inspire and amaze us to this day. Chapter 3. Louis Zamperini, Unbroken Spirit. From Olympic runner to prisoner of war, Louis Zamperini's life is a tale of extraordinary resilience and unyielding spirit. Born in 1917, Louis was a troublemaker in his youth, but he found his calling in running. His speed and determination led him to the 1936 Berlin Olympics, where he competed as a long-distance runner. But his journey was far from over. When World War II broke out, Louis enlisted in the United States Army Air Forces. He became a bombardier, flying dangerous missions over the Pacific. In 1943, during a search mission, his plane crashed into the vast expanse of the Pacific Ocean. Imagine surviving a plane crash in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, with nothing but the wreckage and the open sea around you. Now imagine being adrift on a raft for 47 days, scorched by the relentless sun, circled by menacing sharks, and battling the elements. Louis and his two crewmates faced this harrowing ordeal. They had to ration their meager supplies, catch rainwater to drink, and fend off shark attacks. The scorching sun beat down on them, and their bodies began to weaken and shut down. Louis endured unimaginable suffering. His body slowly shutting down, he fought to stay alive. But his ordeal wasn't over. After 33 days, one of his crewmates succumbed to the harsh conditions. Louis and the remaining crewmate, Phil, continued to drift, holding on to the hope of rescue. On the 47th day, they were finally spotted, but their relief was short-lived. They were captured by the Japanese Navy and taken as prisoners of war. Louis faced years in brutal POW camps where he endured unimaginable hardships: starvation, torture, disease. The Japanese captors tried to break him. They subjected him to relentless beatings, forced labor, and psychological torment. The conditions were inhumane, and many prisoners did not survive. But Louis, he had this fire in him, this refusal to give up. Despite the relentless brutality, Louis remained defiant. He had an unbreakable spirit and an unwavering determination to survive. He clung to hope, to the memory of his family, to the belief that he would one day be free. His resilience became a source of inspiration for his fellow prisoners. He clung to hope, to the memory of his family, to the belief that he would survive. He found strength in the thought of reuniting with his loved ones and returning home. This hope kept him going through the darkest days. And he did. After years of suffering, Louis was finally liberated when the war ended. His triumphant return home was a testament to his indomitable human spirit. He had survived the unthinkable and emerged stronger. Louis Zamperini's story is a testament to the indomitable human spirit. Could you withstand such hardship? His journey from an Olympic runner to a war hero and a survivor is a powerful reminder of the strength of the human will. His legacy continues to inspire generations, reminding us that no matter how dire the circumstances, the human spirit can endure and triumph. Chapter 4. Nando Parado. Courage in the Andes. The Andes Mountains, a desolate, unforgiving landscape. Now imagine a plane crash, the wreckage buried in snow, the freezing cold seeping into your bones. That was Nando Parado's reality. For 72 days, he and the other survivors clung to life. They faced an impossible choice: starve to death or consume the flesh of their fallen comrades. It was a decision no one should have to make, but Nando, he knew they had to survive. He volunteered to trek for help, a perilous journey through treacherous mountains. For 10 days he climbed, driven by the faintest glimmer of hope, and finally, he found it. Nando's courage saved the lives of his fellow survivors. Could you have made that sacrifice? Chapter 5. Hugh Glass, The Revenant. The American wilderness, vast and unforgiving. Now picture being mauled by a bear, your body broken, left for dead. That was Hugh Glass's reality. His story is the stuff of legends. Abandoned by his companions with no food, no weapons, just the will to live, he crawled. Over 200 miles he dragged himself, his body held together by sheer determination. He fought off infection, starvation, the constant threat of predators. He ate berries, insects, anything to survive. Hugh Glass's story is almost too incredible to believe. It's a testament to the raw power of the human will. Could you overcome such adversity? Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed these incredible survival stories, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing content. Stay safe and stay inspired.